is the person who kind of really came up with this word, this term, servant leadership, way back kind of in the 1940s. He said, a great leader is seen as a servant first, and that simple fact is the key to his greatness. The test for a servant leader, are the people growing? Are they, while being led by you, becoming healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely to become servants themselves? CIO, or the chairman of Southwest, said, we are not looking for blind obedience. We are looking for people who, on their own initiative, want to be doing what they are doing because they consider it a worthy objective, right? So he's saying passion. I have always believed that the best leader is the best server, and if you are a servant, by definition, you are not controlling. Okay? So those are really great quotes. So what does it mean then to be a servant leader? Like you guys said, it means setting the vision. You do need to set the vision. Any leader needs to set what the vision is. We need to let people know where it is that we want to go. And then it means trusting and empowering people to help you get there. Okay? And then getting out of their way. Remove impediments is all I want you to do after that. Remove impediments as in identify problems and issues, and remove it from in front of them. Not solve every problem for them. I'm not saying that. When they bring up an impediment to you and they say, we're doing good, however, we have this issue, can you help with this? You say, absolutely, that's my role. That is my job in this company, is to help you with issues and see what I can do to help you. So they came to you and they said, we have a problem, you are taking care of it. Your desire to serve and deliver value is what brought you to leadership. Not your need for control and kingdom building. Do you guys kind of see the difference? You're not a leader and a manager because you wanted to have more control. You wanted to get that big position. It's really because you really wanted to serve and help and grow. You wanted to add value. Okay? The essence is helping other people grow. You also have these basic attitudes and skills, and that's what we're going to kind of show over here. So this is the servant leader house I took an extract from that class. I wish I could go through all this with you, but right now, this is about as much as we can possibly cover, and not even all of it. But I want you to take a look over here at the foundations for servant leadership, the basic skills. You have to have genuine interest in people. Do you know the difference between regular interest and genuine? I'm talking about sincere interest in people. Not just acting like you're listening, not just acting like you're interested in somebody's story, but you really are. You really, really genuinely are. Humility. Humility means to be humble and to be okay with being humble. Okay? So a little bit less on the ego side, right? Unconditional positive regard for people. And this is very hard because we are very quick to judge. We are very quick to say, that person's never going to give me a good answer, so I'm just not even going to ask them. Or, what, that person is just so loud, that person is so dominating, I don't even want to hear from them. It's so easy for us to judge people and not continuously give them positive regard and give them the benefit of the doubt and still listen to them. Because maybe that was that one day that they needed to change. Maybe that was the one day that they're actually going to provide some benefit. Service, which is kind of what we talked about, which is being there to provide value, right? Not to be in there for control. Authentic. Wow, I could just speak about authenticity. And we could be here for an hour. Authentic means to be yourself and to be real. As a leader, you are not one face in front of people and another face behind and at home. You are the same person. You speak the same way. Your values are shared. People know that you're authentic, you're real. Have you ever worked for somebody and you're like, oh, this person's real? And then have you ever worked for a leader where you've got that leadership face on? There's that kind of formality. Oh, I only speak to you this way. My office hours are specifically this way. When you come in, you need to be really prepared, know what it is that you're talking about, because I don't tolerate a lot of mistakes when you're talking to me, right? You can't just expose emotion. You really need to be doing your homework before you speak to me. That's not authentic. Trust the group. And we talked about a little bit about trust, okay? How do you trust the group? Trust the group's potential. There are also 10 characteristics of the servant leader. And instead of going through each one of them, what I did is I interviewed people that work for servant leaders, people that I feel were servant leaders, and I asked them, I want to see those people and describe them to this group from your eyes. What is it about those people that really empowered you, that made you feel that they were worthy of this servant leadership title? Here's what they said. This is direct quotes from the feedback that I got. They said, the person is not afraid of emotion being expressed openly and honestly. They're not threatened. Even if it's negative, they know how to diffuse negativity without whipping and lashing me. Does that make sense? You guys kind of see that? So I feel comfortable sharing my emotion with this person. I'm not feeling like I'm going to be reprimanded because I just spoke the truth and I spoke what's in my heart. Some days I might have a bad day, but I might go to my leader or my coach. That's really what they're supposed to be, your coach, to kind of just vent and say, oh, I'm really frustrated. They help the person clarify the reason for the emotion and redirect it to a positive outcome without judging me or holding it against them. They don't fuel the fire. They are calm and non-dramatic. Make sense? Right? They don't fuel the fire. I call it no drama. Right? Don't add more drama and go and talk more to more other people about the situation. You are there as a healer. You are there to calm things down. You are there to bring things back to stability, right? They said they allow the person to grow and help them grow through their coaching in a non-threatening way. So that coaching, that ability to coach people and make them better in a non-threatening way. A lot of leaders believe that they're just problem solvers. And I just need to be in your life for as long as I can find a problem with you or find a problem that you found and fix it. But this whole notion of coaching, helping, genuinely being interested, that's really what separates I'm just managing from I'm becoming a leader. Right? Does that make sense? They are generous, she said, in their encouragement and praise. They're not going to hold back praise. Have you been with leaders that will just say, you know, you did a great job? Even if it's little, they'll say, you know what, this was awesome. This was a great step forward. They are there for me. I can tell them what I'm trying to do. They let me share my thoughts. They wait until I ask them for what I could have done. They don't just tell me what to do. Notice the difference here? They're not just coming and saying, look, I think you messed up over here, and here's what you should do better. They're basically saying, how can I help? Do you need my advice or do you not need my advice? As opposed to, I'm just going to come in and tell you what to do. The way she referred to it, personal one-on-one caring. Personal one-on-one caring. They actually care. Didn't somebody, I think the table back there said they actually care? They really care about me as a leader. Mentoring coaching, so proactive and correcting unwanted behavior. So notice, I hope you're not getting the impression that this is the soft leadership. Oh, everything's just going to be, happy-go-lucky with them. No, they're actually very proactive about fixing problems. And they're very direct in what they want and what they don't want. So they're very clear, right? They're just doing it with humanity, right, as opposed to the whipping. So they are proactive in correcting unwanted. They're not afraid to confront problems. Have you worked for leaders or managers, or have you absorbed people that see problems, they just don't know how to fix it, and they don't want to fix it because they're afraid? So that behavior is happening right in front of them in their team. They're not doing anything about it. And you're wondering, what is it that you're afraid of? That is your role. But maybe it's a confrontation. I always think they don't have the skills. You know, there's a wonderful class going on right now these days, crucial confrontation, crucial conversations, right? Maybe they just don't have these skills, so they don't know what to do, and they just think everybody's going to blow up, and so they're trying to avoid the whole thing. Basically, how can I help? I've noticed XYZ behavior, and I'd like to make sure that that changes. What can I do to help you? Give people opportunity to change and encourage change. They don't tell themselves predisposed stories. Oh, I love this one. They go see. How many companies here are doing lean? Wonderful. So part of the lean principle is the go see. Have you guys watched the show called Undercover Boss? Anybody watch that show? So the Undercover Boss show is pretty much the depiction of the go see principle in lean, which is a boss at the very, very top going down and actually seeing what the workers are doing, feeling their pain, asking questions, really being genuinely wanting to understand what it is that's going on, right? And so a servant leader is somebody that will go see for these things, as opposed to the 7 layers between you and me are telling me what it is that's going on in the organization, okay? Because that's going to be a completely different story. They don't